Believe you.
On the weekends, he's practicing his footwork and doing his drills and stuff. So I think he keeps his ankles and knees and all that stuff working and strong.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Go cheer him on, man. You're a good dad.
Yeah. So we'll drive that long
Uvalde
Uvalde trip, and then right back home.
Yep. I'm sorry. This is a new show. Okay, I was thinking.
Welcome back.
Exactly. It's going to be the welcome back thing. I said it the first time. And welcome to Real Trade Secrets with Jacob McBee. It's brought to you by My Favorite Service Company. MyFavoriteServiceCompany.com is the website. Let me go ahead and give you the number. It's 830-212-4222. That is the number to call if you have any issue in your life. I mean, okay, it's mostly air conditioning, heating, and air quality. But Jacob McBee, welcome.
Thank you. We always enjoy coming. We appreciate the bevy.
Yeah, where are we?
Here. We're at the bevy. They're making fresh coffee in the back. So
That's right.
Amazing. I'm actually having the seasonal special here. It's
Pumpkin spice?
Pumpkin spice latte.
Something or other.
Super duper
Frappa
drink.
something?
I don't know what it's called, but I like it. It's good.
And they take care of us here every time, and so we're grateful to the Bevy
Very much.
Hotel. But we're grateful for you because we talked about this on the last episode, and we'll get right into it there. But you do this thing where if you come out and service somebody, and they say, "Oh, can you go tighten up this door hinge or the screw in the light bulb?" You guys kind of go above and beyond the call of duty, and so we honor you for that again.
Thank you. Yeah, it's our good deeds for free. It's what the technicians out there in the field are doing. That we can just offer that extended service to customers. We've got our tools, our ladders, or our willing hands out there, and so whenever we can offer to do something good for you that you're maybe unable to, or maybe you just didn't notice it. A lot of times they'll oil that squeaky hinge or tighten that doorknob for you and not even say anything. And so yes, we always encourage the good deeds for free. That's part of us and what we do. And and the show past and the show even before that, we talked about culture, and that's part of the culture. That's part of our culture as far as who we are as true servants to the community and to our customers. And it's not about just fixing air conditioners. Many times it's about serving that customer to the greatest extent. And that's why I also say, if you've got problems, issues, concerns, reach out and send us a little video or shoot us an email. Or even just call us up and talk to us about what's going on, because sometimes you've got questions and you're just unsure. Should it be doing this? Should it be making this noise? Is this right? Is this not right? I've got this. Is this good or is this not good? Just let us know, and we'll do our very best to help you diagnose that, take care of that, situate that as far as the problem is concerned, without us having to go out to the house. Because, like I said, the air conditioner is eventually going to be replaced or repaired to the point we can't do that. And every bit I can do to help make that customer satisfied and happy along the way, and everything I can do for their neighbors and their friends and their family, that's our way of serving. And so as we serve in the greatest way possible, we will be rewarded in the greatest way possible when it comes right down to it. And so that's just how we operate. That's our culture.
That is it. And we talked about that 2 shows ago. In the last show, we might need to reset a little bit of that.
Absolutely.
But the title of the show is Be Aware You Might Be Causing Yourself Problems. We can prevent some of our own problems by being conscious of some things.
The last show we talked about air and being aware of the air. Outdoor unit needs to be free and clear of dirt, debris, and
mow your yard once in a while, huh?
Or if you do mow the yard, make sure that that you're not blowing it into the air conditioner, and or if you're really having a problem with it, not everybody does, but if you really are having a problem with it, it's becoming something that you regularly run into, just go inside and flip it off while you're doing the weed eating the air conditioning.
Oh, that's good.
Whatever, and then you can go turn it right back on. But it is pulling an immense amount of air into that condensing coil, and then everything that pulls in, it has to also really out top. So make sure it's free and clear.
How come there's no filter for the outdoor unit?
There are filters actually for the outdoor unit. You can buy them online, but it's not always overly necessary. If you'll just be a little bit more aware, and that's what we're saying. Things to be aware of. You could be causing yourself problems. If you just take just a second to be a little bit more aware of it, you don't have to go through great extent and length. It's just having that small level of awareness. And so the inside, just the same. Keep those grills open. Keep them free and clear. Don't block them. Make sure your filters are clean, and you'll get long, efficient, comfortable life out of that air conditioning system inside.
You mentioned on the last show too. You said, and even things like besides the grass and the debris, even our animals, our dogs. And if I'm a family and I've got 4 dogs going crazy, should I rope off the air conditioning? Should I block the dogs from getting near there? Is that worth it?
I mean, it can help. Yeah, there are some customers that we've gone and visited their home, and assumingly they have large male dogs and they like to mark their territory.
Oh yeah.
And so they can cause some problems, and we've seen that, that over time will begin to erode the outdoor coils and cause problems. And so, yeah, absolutely. If you're seeing things like that, then I would certainly suggest it. But if you do, try to keep at least 2 foot of area around that air conditioner completely free and clear. Don't build something right up next to it. Give it as much space as possible, but at least 2 foot is really preferred, and make sure the top is open also.
Very good, very good.
Yep.
Also, too, the other thing I'm worried about is that little swamp I've got near mine, the water drainage that comes out of it. Where should that water go? What's the best way to manage that?
So many different scenarios that we can go into there. I see some people, they connect a little water hose to it. Some people, they'll dig a little French drain and just put pea gravel in it, and then just drips into there, and it dissipates out from there. That's usually the best or the easiest way. And then whenever we install a new air conditioner, we always make sure that we get that drain line at least 3 foot away from the house, so that you're not draining everything right there next to the house. Because let me ask you a question, a little test. So we've had several shows here, and I've gone over about how much water an air conditioner can produce in removing humidity, and how much that can be is about
40.
Some houses could, especially if you have multiple systems, about 20.
Okay.
About 20 gallons in the summertime. That air conditioner per day, 20 gallons per day, that air conditioner can produce in water condensation while removing humidity out of your home. So yeah, that 28 gallons, if you imagine just dumping out, 4 or 5 gallon buckets full of water there, it can be a mess. So there's ways to help that, and that's just a few areas. So, the next things we need to talk about as far as your air conditioners are concerned, when we're talking about be aware you may be causing yourself problems, is the fuel side of things. And then when we talk about fuel, I'm going to say fuel as far as the fossil fuel, and then fuel also being on the refrigerant side of things. And on the fuel, it's simple. Talking about the gas, it's pretty simple. Make sure that the propane tank stays filled, and you pay your gas bill. Me, I'm on propane, and I put my propane company on a constant fill level. So whenever they're in the area, every 30, 45 days, and they're passing through, they'll just pull in there and they'll top me off. So I never have a problem with it. And so they all have a different name for it, but I call it always full program. So they basically always make sure that I'm full on fuel. So if they have it available, I would suggest doing that on the propane side of things. On the gas side, the only thing I can say is pay your bill. After that, it's up to them to get it to you. But hey, let's just hit on something right there, where we're talking about it. If you do have to have an appliance repaired, a stove, a water heater, heating system, or even me in my house, I went with a gas dryer. So if you do have to have an appliance replaced, whatever it may be, keep in mind the difference in natural gas and propane is a pressure. And so natural gas is actually a lower pressure than propane fuel. And so if you don't do a conversion kit on those appliances and make sure it's set up properly for the natural gas or propane, you can cause yourself problems. And those problems can be extensive into things we don't even want to get into that can actually be very, very scary for a home and a family.
All right, so someone right now just went, I didn't do that.
Yeah.
How do I do that?
Yeah. So the appliance man, your repairman, whoever you have that's helping you out with that replacement, will be able to help you out with that and take care of it. But it's very important, okay, so your heating air conditioning system or your water heater, those are things simply you're going to have the professional come out and take care of you. And so I just hope that they are, aware enough and professional enough that they take care of that, automatically. But sometimes you're going to go and you're going to pick up a new stove at a big box store, or your gas dryer, and you're not always going to remember. And so just heightened awareness, let you know it's very important we make sure we get those propane conversion kits, is what they're called, installed if you're going into a propane system, because they're typically set up for natural gas. Okay, and that propane's a higher pressure, and so at a higher pressure, it's going to deliver too much gas into the air conditioner. And if you deliver too much gas, it's not going to be able to burn it off fast enough. And if you don't burn it off fast enough, what is an unburned fossil fuel?
Bad.
Carbon monoxide.
Bad.
Unburned fossil fuel is carbon monoxide, not to mention the soot and the nasty other stuff that it brings with it.
Right.
So very, very bad. Make sure that you're doing that. Okay, coming on from the fuels.
Let me just remind people, just
Yes.
real quick. Hey, this is Real Trade Secrets with Jacob McBee. I'm here with Jacob McBee. My name is Baron Wiley, but here's a number to call to answer all your questions and get served today. The number is 830-212-4222, 830-212-4222, myfavoriteservicecompany.com. We're going to take a break here in just a couple minutes. So
You're always cutting me
I know.
off. I'm on a roll, man.
I know.
Come on.
Well, then just give us a little tease. What are we going to hear when we get back?
We're going to come off of the fuels. As far as the fossil fuel is concerned, we're going to talk about the fuel being the refrigerant side of things. It's pretty simple. And then from the refrigerant side of things, we're going to start talking about the power side of things. And I'll bring some more light into other areas in the house where it's not just talking about the air conditioner, but some of the other appliances that you have in your home. Just be aware, keep an eye out. Some of the things that you can be doing to help prevent. Keep your eye out so you can prevent problems in the future. And yeah.
Okay. All right. So keep that energy. We're going to take a break. We'll come right back, and then you'll have all the time in the world.
Where energy goes, focus flows.
Ooh.
Where focus goes, energy flows.
And if in doubt, switch it out. And all the
There
other
you
ones
go.
you know. All right.
See y'all back.
We'll be right back. That's funny. Good, man. I like it when you do that. Just having fun. And we're back, right? And welcome back to Real Trade Secrets with Jacob McBee. I'm Baron Wiley here. It is brought to you by My Favorite Service Company, myfavoriteservicecompany.com. Hey, by the way, before we get back into this, I got to see one of your guys out in the field. It's always fun when I see the big, beautiful My Favorite Service Company trucks out in service there. We were both getting our little QT drinks there, getting refilled there. Great guy, Narciso.
Narciso.
I love that guy.
Yeah.
I
he's great.
saw him on like Facebook. Then like 2 hours later, he was fixing someone's air conditioning in their home, and they were gracious and kind enough to go live on the Facebook with him and just talk about what a great company, or what their new favorite service company was, and it's called My Favorite Service Company.
My favorite service
I love
company. Yeah, we enjoy it. We have so much fun out there. The guys, they really just enjoy their job. They enjoy being out there. We talked about it before. They have true servants' hearts. They love to get out there and serve and take care of that customer, and doing the good deeds for free, fixing the air conditioners, fixing the heaters, and sometimes it's just sitting down and having a conversation with the customer and
being real,
being real, being friendly, and we really enjoy it. We're never in a rush. We never want to overlook not only problems with the air conditioner, but with the customer. We want to sit down and be your friend. You don't get to be everybody's favorite by rushing through things and ignoring people. So yeah, we enjoy it. We have true service hearts, and it's just so much fun. And Narciso is just another prime specimen of what our company is, and as we've talked about, the culture of our company.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm making new friends all the time there too, with you, with Jake, with Jay, with Narciso. I mean, it's like, and they keep coming back, and I appreciate you guys coming and supporting Bernie with our Boost Bernie business events. And Jake is going to be at our next one himself, and you've sponsored it before, and so thank you for plugging into Bernie, Texas.
Absolutely, it's our pleasure. We enjoy being here.
Awesome. All right, so when we were before the break, we were again learning ways that we can stop causing ourselves problems, and we all focused on air. Now we're talking about fuel. So ready?
So as far as the fuel is concerned, I'm just going to recap because it's so important. You have two different fuels. You have your natural gas. You have your propane/LP fuel. And if you are using either one of those, make sure that your appliance is set up correctly for either the natural or the propane fuel. And then to keep fuel going to them, make sure you remind your propane company to deliver the gas, and you pay your gas bill to the utility company to keep that fuel coming in. And there's also people up north that are probably listening to the podcast or YouTube channel or whatever it may be. By the way, don't forget to like it, share it, and leave us a comment there at the bottom, because that's what helps us gauge future shows and help to continuously deliver great shows. Is because of the content that we have comes from y'all's comments, and the more y'all like and share it, the more people get out there and see it, the more feedback we get. So amazing. But anyways, going back to up north, there's also oil. People have oil-fired furnaces, but we won't get into that because we don't have that here. The next fuel we want to talk about is the refrigerant. And refrigerant is not specifically a fuel, although there are some refrigerants even in today's world. Okay, so did you know that R22 is being phased out?
I thought it was gone already.
It's phased out as far as new refrigerant being made. But now they have drop-in refrigerants or replacement refrigerants. So it's a like type refrigerant that's supposed to replace the R22 refrigerant, aka Freon.
Aha.
Okay. Did you know they use propane in some of these?
I did not.
Yeah. There's an amount of propane inside of some of these replacement refrigerants, and so I don't like them. I don't trust them. It's just something about it just kind of
like gasohol.
Makes me a little bit leery, but
yeah,
that was getting sidetracked there. As far as the refrigerant side of things is concerned, your air conditioner has a refrigerant, and so your air passing over your evaporator coils, your condenser coils, your heat pump coils, that air is helping helping the refrigerant to do its job. And the big thing about the refrigerant is it's like water in the engine of your vehicle. Okay, obviously it's doing its job in heating and cooling your home and providing that comfort as far as your home health, comfort, safety system is concerned. But it also acts as a cooling agent for your compressor. And if you begin to run it low on refrigerant, not only is it going to decrease your efficiency, not only is it going to decrease your comfort and your heating or cooling, but it's also going to increase heat on that compressor. And that compressor needs that refrigerant to keep itself cool. And so if you start to notice problems, do something about it. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. Okay? Because if you do, it's going to be too late.
Look at you, Mr. I don't rap.
Just always rhyming here lately. I don't know what's going on. It's the pumpkin latte spice thing. Hey, good job. So, no, on a serious note, when you start to notice something that's going on there and you think your air conditioner's not cooling correctly or heat pump's not heating correctly or it's making kind of a funny noise or something like that, very often you're going to find that system's beginning to become low on refrigerant. And air conditioners do not consume refrigerant. They use refrigerant. So if it's low on refrigerant, that means it's leaked out somewhere. And so the faster we can find that, fix that, we can prevent major problems from down the road. Because you don't drive your car and then you start to see that needle is turning over to the red, and then you just keep on driving.
Right.
You pull over and you do something about it. But whenever you see that your air conditioner is not cooling correctly, your heat pump's not heating correctly, you're hearing some funny noises on the outdoor unit, that's the same as you just driving that car saying, okay, well, it's on red, but I got to get to San Antonio from Bernie or back to Bernie from San Antonio or wherever you may be traveling. You got to stop and you got to take care of it, because if not, you're going to cause yourself much larger problems that you don't want to face. So when you see it, do something about it.
I'm sorry. Now, how do you see it though? This refrigerant that I don't see.
You feel it.
Oh, okay.
You feel it. If you feel like your system's not cooling correctly, you feel like it's not heating correctly, or you hear something that just sounds out of the ordinary that you're not used to, and you live with it, day in and day out. You're in the backyard, watering the dogs, doing whatever you're doing, grilling, because you're going to grill me steaks here pretty soon.
Pretty
Whenever
soon.
I help you hang the Christmas lights. When you hear something funny, we got to do something about it. Don't just ignore it. It's just like our vehicles. You get squeaky brakes. You don't just keep driving with squeaky brakes, because then you're going to wear on brake pads. You run out of brake pads, you're going to have an accident.
Right.
It's just as bad with the air conditioner. So when you hear something, you feel something, see something, do something about it. And that refrigerant is very important to the air conditioner, not only for your comfort, but also as a cooling agent for that compressor. And that compressor is the heart of your air conditioner. And if there's a problem there, you're not going to have any air conditioning or heating, depending on if you have a heat pump or a gas system. So be aware of that.
And you guys check that out when you come out and do your maintenance. You monitor that.
All the things that I'll talk about here are all things that we do at my favorite service company. If you so choose to call us out to do preventative maintenance on your system, we come out and we thoroughly inspect, maintain, and clean the air conditioning and heating system. Those all the components we'll talk about here are all things we're going to look at and check. And yes, we do that. And then especially with the way the guys do it here with My Favorite Service Company is not only do that, we take pictures to verify it, we go over the things with you, and then we send you a third-party verified report. So there's never a question. You've got it in your files for the future. So, back in 2001 and whenever we came out, and everything was good. So it's very important for those records to reflect back on how the air conditioner is running.
All right. Well, it is fall time, and I think it's a perfect time to have someone come out and check, especially with the holidays coming. You got family coming. You don't want to have AC issues, heater issues happen. So now again, get My Favorite Service Company to come out. Do you have a monthly special going on right now that you're talking about?
$49. $49 is the special we have going on right now. We come out clean, maintain, and service the air conditioner for the fall season. And when we do, we go through the entire system. We don't just do the heater, even if it's gas. We're going to check the whole thing, assuming that the weather is fair enough that we can do so. We go through the whole system. You pay us the $49. We're there. It doesn't take us much more. We're going to go through the whole thing. We're going to give you a full report, because while we've got that up and going, it's just as easy for us to give you the entire report rather than part of the report. And so, do we have time to quickly talk about power?
We do.
Okay. Here's a big one. We got power. So the power that supplies, this is the last one actually, the power that is supplied to your air conditioner is either a 24 volt, 120 volts, or a 240 volt supply. And the powers themselves vary, and there could be slight variances there in that 120, 240. But each motor is designed to consume a certain amount, or it needs a certain amount of electricity. And if there's too little or too much, there can be an issue. And so you say, well, the utility company provides it, so where would be the problem, right? If the utility bills provide me with electricity and then the air conditioner was running yesterday, assumingly, obviously that motor has the correct power source and then it's running okay, and so there should be no problems. It's not true. The reason why is things change in time. Connections become loose. Contacts begin to become pitted, and they lose connection.
I don't know what pitted means.
Pitted meaning like let's take for example, if you arc two pieces of metal together, and that smooth metals. Okay, so a contactor is essentially two very smooth pieces of metal with a copper coating over them. And for everybody on radio that can see my hands, I'm putting them together. Okay, put your hands together like that. So as time goes on, that smooth metal surface continues to make contact. And each time it does, it makes a small arc. Okay, people on the radio, take your finger now and draw them over and point them at each other. And imagine electricity trying to flow through those two things, right? It's like now it's trying to flow over not a smooth surface. As that happens, you begin to cause heat, because that friction and electricity there begins to cause heat. And that heat goes to the motor, and what happens when the motor overheats? You got problems.
You got problems, yeah.
Exactly. And so we need to make sure that we maintain those. So when you call My Favorite Service Company and many other companies out there, because there's many people do a very good job. We're not the only ones. We're not the, we're the best. We're not the, the only ones that are really good.
But you're my favorite.
But definitely. And so, but on a serious note, we check things by verifying voltage in and out, making sure we're getting the proper voltages. Then we check amp draws to make sure motors aren't overamping. And we also, every time possible, visually inspect those. And of course, all those things with My Favorite Service Company are pictured, notated, and then third-party verified with a report that we give to you. But those all need to be very, very much looked at and maintained. And as time goes on, just like brakes on your car, okay, because it's the same thing almost, those pads will begin to wear down. And as those pads begin to wear down, we'll begin to have more and more problems. And the longer we wait, the worse it's going to get. If you've ever waited too long to replace your brake pads and you had to get the rotors turned, well, a simple brake job now turns into a major brake job, right? Don't let that happen to your air conditioner, because it's not necessary. Small preventative measures today, what's the old saying? Ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
That doesn't rhyme though, Jacob. What's up?
Hey, but it sounds good anyways. Okay. And it's true. And we're not trying to rhyme as much as we're trying to tell the truth. We're telling real trade secrets, right?
That's right.
And so we have the electricity, and that's a big one. The other one is we got to think about the power surges, okay?
Oh, yeah.
And so and the utility companies, they provide us with great power, and they usually do a very good job. There's things that they can't always prevent, and those are power surges. And whenever these power surges happen, essentially they are sending more power through to that circuit, whatever it may be, than what's designed. And as it sends more power through than what's designed, it causes problems. We have computers and big screen TVs, and often we put those things on these little surge protectors. You plug in the wall and it goes to a surge protector, and then you plug your TV or computer into that, right?
Right.
Well, we make those for air conditioners also. And air conditioners in today's world have much more advanced electronics and motors than old air conditioners. And they're much more likely to have issues and problems. And those fancy digital thermostats that talk to our phones and all that stuff, all these things are much more likely to be affected by power surges. So our company will always look at this, we'll verify it, we'll measure it, but you can also look at it and say, is my system protected with a surge protector?
Yeah.
And if you've had issues with surges in your home, let's say air conditioner starts up and has a surge and you see the lights dim, well, you know there's a problem.
Right.
Again, don't hesitate. Don't wait. It could be too late. So surge protection is very important in today's air conditioning systems, and making sure that we're protecting those, just like computers, big screen TVs, and other expensive things that we have in our home. And air conditioner is more expensive than most of those things. And so take again that
I just thought that automatically came with the air conditioner, came with the surge protector, but you're saying no.
Unfortunately, no, it doesn't. And another big one is there's start assist systems. These start assist systems are designed to help your compressor start with a proper amount of electricity each time. It's almost like, if you're pulling a heavy trailer and you've got that granny gear, if you've ever driven a standard, well, in the middle of the summer, these systems can be under a high amount of pressure and stress, right? Under pressure, excuse me. And so whenever these thermostatic expansion valves, you're familiar with that.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever these things shut down, they have a hard shutdown, and they can cause that compressor to be under a high amount of pressure. That compressor to be under a high amount of pressure. Now I'm rhyming too much for myself. Anyhow, these start assist systems are very important because they give that system the right amount of electricity to really just throw it into gear, boost it to move forward, and get up and running. If not, it'll sit there and overwork itself, and again, it can overheat, cause big problems, and burn up.
Well, this has been part 2 of a 2-part series there called Be Aware You May Be Causing Yourself Problems. You don't have to. You can take care of it. Oh, I got an idea. Call my favorite service company at 830-212-4222, and life gets a lot easier. And I say thank you, Jacob McBee.
Thank you. Yes, and just a reminder, if you're not on the radio, you're listening elsewhere, like, share, comment below, let us know how you're doing. And everybody out there on the radio and everywhere else that you're listening, just remember, temporary cool is not cool. So whenever you have these little issues, it's probably a temporary cool that you have, but if you'll do something about it, you'll stay cool long.
Wow. I like it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great weekend, everybody. Real Trade Secrets with Jacob McBee.
Jacob, you want to go back and do recap and also the quick action steps that anyone would like to see? You're out.
You're fired.
Not reading it and you're just shooting it from the hip,
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember the highlights of it. So do we need to shoot? I mean, I hit on it there at the end, saying whether you're listening on.
You did, but that wasn't really a recap of what you talked about.
Okay, here you go.
So I think, that's it. Just have to go over it.
Ready whenever. Thank you for listening or watching, wherever it may be. And just to recap, our whatever it is. Thank you for listening or watching. And to recap, we've been talking about be aware you may be causing yourself problems. We essentially broke down the issues to look for, things that you can be aware of, help to prevent your air conditioner, your heating system from breaking down. We broke it into 3 primary areas. We talked about 1, air, keeping everything clear and clean so that it has as much air to breathe on inside and outside as possible. As much as it takes in, it's got to release, it's got to pull in as much as possible and release as much as possible. And so keeping that air conditioner breathing is very important. And we talked about fuels. We talked about the actual fossil fuels for gas systems, and we talked about the fuel being the refrigerant and how important those things are. If you see any issues or concerns, you got to let somebody know right away as far as the air conditioner is concerned. And then your fossil fuels, be aware of those things. Get yourself a carbon monoxide detector. Make sure your appliance is converted correctly, and make sure that you've got fuel to that system, or you're not going to have a good heating system. And then power. We talked about how important power is, and that's the supplied voltage to your air conditioner. And yes, if it's working yesterday, it should be working tomorrow, but sometimes there's things you can help do on that. And so if you need to, go back, listen to the show again. But we've talked a lot about these things, and if you have any questions or concerns moving forward, you can catch me at info@myfavoriteservicecompany.com, info@myfavoriteservicecompany.com. Send me an email, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you got moving forward. Thank you.